Okay. What we're going to do this week, I hope, is a group of mitzvahs, which I must say the interaction and the Rambam on has two questions which discuss these two mitzvahs. Two questions. And we'll see in Ayin Hey, he has one question, and in Ayin Zayin, another question. Okay. Mitzvah Ayin Daled. HaMitzvah ho'arba b'shivim hi shetzivonu sheyakriv kol korban kol ish zov kishenisrape min hazivus. Okay? So the Rambam says that zivus is a refuah, is a machla, and the refuah from the machla is mechayev a korban. Kol ish zov kishisrape min hazivus. See here, the Rambam in Pirush HaMishnah, in Perek Beis of Zov and Mishnah Beis, hazivus hi machla mi machlas kli azera, v'hu shekli azera nechlash koicham hamachzik. It's a disease. V'ma'akel v'sha koiches haguf imdim b'matzovim hativi. It means it's a machla, a specific machla in the Ebezer. V'oz yizal hazera. This basically is shichva zera, but it's kisheino boshel. It's not, has not come into fruition. V'yetze b'li hano b'li kishu. V'yeh mareu, we'll see this later, neitlad mimus. It's slightly red, ma'ota v'dalil b'mahusay. It's not, the viscosity is not the same as shichva zera, and it's also more on the reddish side. Okay, the Rambam also similar, but not in such a length in Perek Beis and B'chlusei Po Aloch Aleph. Ramban Chumash also very clear. In Vayikra Tesvov Yud Aleph, V'tam Tumas Hazev B'ish B'nei Hayoisei Chili Koved Min HaChaloyim HaNidbokim. I don't know if that means that it's contagious, I don't know. V'tzoch Korban Lo says Heidor Lashem Sheripo Oisei V'Tierah. It's a korban Heidor. Interesting, the Ram says that there is a machla over here, and you have refuah from the machla, from the zivus. It doesn't say what's machayev the korban. The Ramban says the korban a Heidor. On the other hand, in other places, in Minyan HaKotzer, he doesn't mention the word machlo, he talks about tahara min atuma. In Minyan HaKotzer, Ayin Daled, lahakiv azav, korban, ache sheitoye, shnem v'chiyito hazov. In Protei HaMitzvos, mechusi kapora, sheyakiv azov, k'sheyitoye korban. So the tahara, see, the Ram in here is the refuah is mechayev the korban, and the Ram says the tahara is mechayev the korban in the Protei HaMitzvos and the Minyan HaKotzer. Okay, so then we're going to have to ask ourselves, if the refuah is the mechayev, what constitutes refuah? So you'd assume the refuah is shiva nekiyim, but the relationship between that and the mik of the Mayim Chaim, we don't know. The mik, we don't know the tahara, the tahara. We don't understand what it's to do with refuah. We understand what it's to do with tumah. So maybe, and we'll have to investigate this, maybe according to the tzad, that it's a refuah, maybe the tefillah and mikvah is only tonight. Okay, that's what we have here in Ayin Daled. And he says, "Va'korban hahu hu shtei seirim o shnei bnei yoino, echad chatos ve'echad oilo. V'zeo korban hazav, v'hu mechusa kapora ad she'ak ve'uvehu." We have to understand why he's mentioning over here that it's mechusa kapora. Actually, what does it do with the korban? It is true in the Protei Mitzvos that the Ram says that through the korban he goes. There's a change from mechusa kapora that he's not mechusa kapora anymore. He's mutan tumas mikdash u'kadosh. What this is, the point is here, the Ram says in the Protei Mitzvos in the beginning of mechusa kapora on all of these mitzvahs. V'hu Amar Yis'al, the Ram says here that the pasuk in the Torah, v'chiyita hazov mizoivoi v'goymer, u'v'yoyim hashmini, and the goymer is in Ksav Yad Oxford. It's not in Kapach, but l'chayr it's in place because there is something in between of Yom Hashmini, Yikach Lo Shtei Serim B'Goymes. So the Ram then, if that's part of Ksav Yad, I would assume that he's telling you that there are other words in between, but they're not negated to the mitzvah. Okay, so that's the mitzvah of Zav to bring a korban through at the time of refuah. Mitzvah Ayin Hey. והמצווה החומש ושבעים היא שציוונו שתקריב קורבן כל אישה זובו כשתסרפה מזיבוס. The same thing, that with the refuah from the zivus, there's a chiyuv korban. And zivus is in the Ksav Yad, it's the Judeo-Arabic, and that's the word zivus. V'korban hahu hu shtei serim v'shnei bnei yoino v'zeu korban zava v'hi mechuseres kapora, like the zav, ad shetiviehu, until or ad shetekrivehu ad shetiviehu. Okay. See, here it's very simple. It's the same basic issue. You see, the Ramban also says in Chumash by Zavo, in Vayikot Tezvov Yud Aleph, Hekel HaKosav B'zoiv Ho'isha Be'es Nidosa V'lo Chiyuv Bo Korban. In the normal case of Nida, where it's not Shaloi Be'es Nidosa, Ba'vu Shehu Tivo V'loi Nisrapes B'choili. But Zavo, which is Nisrapes Michili, is Mechuy the korban. So I assume the Ramban is working with his approach that it's a korban Haidah, and there's a korban Haidah for the Isha, and for the Zav and the Zav. Okay. See, here is very simple. Okay. Two mitzvahs, the mitzvah korban Azav, the korban Azava, Shalom Aleichem. V'ulai, Yakshe, Makshe, Yaksholai. A person who's asking questions will ask on me, will question my premises, V'yoima. Okay? So Ramban is, the Rambam is Kilu bringing in someone in from the audience who is asking a question. He's going to ask the question for him. It's the same thing. Shtei serim v'shnei bnei yoino, and echod is chatos v'echod oilo. Okay. Lomo leisimne min hakorban yischayev kol mish yischayev. Why shouldn't we count this as one mitzvah, the min korban, which yechayev? Kamo she'asisa b'korban chatos, b'korban oshim vadai, b'korban oshim tolui, b'korban oile v'yered. The same way, kol echod shemonisa, kol echod mitzvah achas b'fnei atzmo. So the Rambam is going over all the mitzvahs which he's mentioned, except for tshuva, which is like in the middle, which is like stuck on to these mitzvahs of kapora. And he has these korbanos, korban chatas, korban oshim vade, korban oshim tolui, the korban oile v'yered. So maybe we should have korban zivus. And it should be one mitzvah. Why should this be two mitzvahs in the minyan? Ram's question. Kilu, he's bringing in the question for whoever's asking it. Or if someone would ask him. So he says, by the min korban, from chatos and tol yoshim vade and yoshim tolin komen eleviyere v'le chashashto l'ribui avonos shechayovim al kol ovoin mehem hakorban ahu. Even though there are a list of avonos, we don't say on each different avoin there's a separate mitzvah, but there's one mitzvah called the min hakorban. Kain hine or heina. I don't know. This heina is not or kan. Heina means kan. Kain heina. Hoyeroi here over here. Hoyeroi lecha. Shaloi tachoish l'ribu yoishim. The same way the ribi avonos don't add a new korban. The ribui hoishim, these two different types of people, the zav and the zava, shouldn't make him the she's chayiv kol echad mehen korban oif. It's the same korban oif, so it should be one mitzvah. Now let's rephrase the mitzvah. Let's rephrase the question. The question is like this. The Rambam is based on Shiur Yudalid that there's a min korban. Every time you have a min korban, it's a separate mitzvah. Min korban chatos, min korban oshim vade, oshim tolui, and min korban oile v'yered. He's asking from Shiur Yudalid and not from Shiur Zayin. The Shiur Zayin he's dealing with where the korban nosi, chatas nosi, the chatas pakoi moshiach, the chatas hediet, the sir avodah zarah should be one mitzvah or many mitzvahs. And that is the Ram doesn't count fikr. You have to understand there's a basic difference going on over here. In Shiur Zayin, there are many permutations, many reflections of the same mitzvah, but it has reflection A in a nasi, you bring a seer nasi. In a kohen gadol, you bring a different korban, but it basically is an expression of the same thing, the korban chatos, but different people have different korbanos. But it's all the same. That's Shiur Zayin. Shiur Yudalid, he's talking about the same oynish, or the same korban, hamachaper. It's just that there's a different list of averis. So if you have the various chayve krises, you wouldn't say there's a dechiyuv, there's a mitzvah for this This chayve klis is b'shoige, and this chayve klis is b'shoige, but it's all korban chatos, and all the averes from Oshem Tolui, which means the same averes of chatos, where it's a suffix, you bring a korban, and there's Oshem Vadai, it's list of averes and korban of the earth. Similarly, there's a list of ishim that are chayev this korban miyuchad called the korban of zivus. Okay, that is the question. It's basically a question on Shurish Yudalid, and it's very proper you should ask it on Shurish Yudalid. And his answer is the following. He says like this: Yeda hamakshe hahu. That makshe should know. Shekorban zav v'zobo eino al chatoim. It's not al chet. You bring a korban chatos, okay, and you find midrashim maybe talking about chet, but that is not the chiyuv mitzvah. Okay, it's not al chatoim. There's no loisaseh that you're going to point to and say, this is the oynish, the mechapa loisaseh X. So it really is not Shurish Yudalid, okay? Shurish Yudalid is chet. Avol hu korban shechoyva la'asoisai al inyan min anyonim. This translation, the Targum from the Arabic, is not a more exact, probably is what kapach, that's what I was mavare, it's much al matzav mesuyim. If he's in a certain situation, a peculiar situation. Okay? So the matzav mesuyim is mechayiv. Okay? So if the matzav mesuyim of the zav and the zava would be the same, then it's a double portion. It will be one mitzvah. And that's what he says. V'ilu hoyo inyone hazivus. Inyone hazivus, and this is not probably the translation, the matzav of zivus, ba'anoshim. So the word inyan is very misleading because in the Rambam in general, it's a catchword for if it's a different inyan, it's a different mitzvah. This is not the issue over here. It's talking about the matzav mesuyim, what the chayli is. If the chayli, when you can call chayli zivus, you would understand it would be zav and zova, then you would have no problem. And it would be one mitzvah. V'ilu hoyo matzav hazivus ba'anoshim v'noshim dovo echod kmoshu b'shem. If the name is indicative of something, the Ram does a similar thing in Mitzvah Kuf Yud Zayin, where he says that the name Eichin is in 4 different cases, but it just happens to be Hasholash Hashem, but it's something different. It's 4 separate mitzvahs. Here, it's a flow, but the flow is Cholok Gamre. Avol ein ho'inyan, avol ein ho'inyan kain. Here, a proper translation, ein hadova kain, the way Kapach translated. Ki hagoras hazera min ho'ish, the flow of zera. You see, Zev again is the Rambam that the Zera, it's Zera Sheloi Nizbashel, but it's Zera. Ki Hagoras HaZera min Ho'ish hu shetechayveu HaKorban. Then he says a very strange phrase. I don't understand what it is. V'im yigo, if there will be a flow, a nezila, kmo hazera min ho'isha, hine hilo tiya zava. Okay. Now, I have no clue of what this is. It basically says that Loiven, we'll see later, Loiven and Isha is not Matame, but we have no clue what we're talking about because we don't know the flow of Zera from an Isha. We don't know what Kmo is something of the like. And you have a Miut that's not Matame. But we don't know what we're talking about. The Ram and Mishkav Moshav in Perek Aleph Halacha Vov Ein ho isha mitama b'loivin v'lo ish b'oidim elo isha b'oidim v'ish b'loivin. Okay, that's true. But this issue that k'moi hazera by issue, we don't understand what it is. Hine he lo tiyeh because lo that's not what zova is. Love is oidem, dom. V'hagoras hadom min ho'isha t'chayev korban. It's dam, okay? V'im yigo hadom min ho'ish. It's not that the zayv is red. We're talking about blood. And you understand that the zayv is not to any without mimus, but the mechayiv, what the miut over here is blood. V'im yigo hadom min ha'ish. Correct? Eino chayiv dom. He's not chayiv anything. This you find interesting in Ovos HaTumos, in Perek Hey of Hilchos Ovos HaTumos Halacha Gimel, the Ram says, Shichva Zera Aduma Tehera, Achi Te Levonam Nimsheches. There's no such halacha by Zoiv. We don't know what the din of Zoiv Odom is. He has the din Mashiach Zera, but this is not the issue over here, because the Ram clearly says that the meat over here is about Dom. In fact, the Mein Avtoyach in Amon Lamed Ches also points this out. But this here is mefurish that we're talking about dom. It's not any more diuk, it's mefurish. The migo adom minoish. And then he does the same thing which he does in Kufyud Zion. Umilas zivus omnom, I don't know where this is in the Ksav Yad, I don't know this is the word. Umilas hazivus inyono hahagoro. This is a proper translation. It's something like, it means a flow, okay? The ein kol agora, and not every flow is the same. It's a very different type of flow. Ubebeya omru, wa ish mitame beloivin, wa isha be'oidim. Okay? And that is a Teres Kohanim in Parshas Zovim, and also is reflected in Gemara Nida Lamed Beis. And this probably is the Ram's Pshat in the Gemara in Krisus. The Gemara says in Krisus, Ches Lamed Beis, Zav v'zovo ika tmuason chaluka. Mitzera umitzoras ein ika tmuason chaluka. The ika tmuason in Zav, in Zovo, is loiven and odom. It's dam and zera. And that's the chiluk. And again, the Rambam has to come around over here because l'cheira, since he's referring to oidem and loiven and the metame, and the Gemara increases, he's talking about the chusei kapora, l'cheira, in a certain sense, he's equating the chayli and the tumah. And we'll see this later, that I'll tell you now, the chinuch in mitzvah kuf pei gimel, vehevi raya ksas lidvorov mima shomer bekrisis, is the lashon chinuch, albom chusei kapora, how he shechosh uzav vazov b'shnayim, uvri chechalukin b'chol yon. The disease is different. Umitzoa mitzaras lefi shachli shava b'shneim. That's very strange. He's saying pshat in the Gemara Krisus, right? So in the Gemara Krisus talking about tumah, chaluk and tumasan. See, he's equating the tumah and the chayli, and this will be very important when we're talking about at the beginning, about the refuah, the chayli, the tumah. It's very strange, all merged together. The tumah is a reflection of the chayli. Okay, now, interesting is, the Gemara tells us, and you find Mishnayos here and there, different expressions of it. There are other differences between Zav and Zava. The Zav, he says, Maishno Zav Zava, the money lu betrain, Mishum the Chulka Tomosan, the Zav, loy metame ba'inis, Zav, the Shiva drochim boitchem es Azav, that if it's through outside forces, it's not something internal, that's what he really is, then it's not metame. V'zovo is metame ba'inus, but a bezovo loy metame b'riyas kibiyomim, and zav is metame b'riyas kibiyomim. 3 riyas is metame. In zava, it's only 3 separate yomim. So this is not quoted over here. What the iketumah say, these are dinim in tumah zav and zava, but the iketumah say of zav is loiven, and the iketumasa of Zava is oidem, and that's the Ram's talking about. The matz of Mesuyam is talking about the oidem and the loven. And that's the Gemara says that Zav and Zav and Mitzvah and Mitzaras, haike gris v'haike gris. Let me now read the following. Here's a major thing the Ram just did. V'ein din zav v'zovo kedin mitzera u'mitzara'as. When you see later in mitzvah Ayin Zayin, he shezivona shiachriv kol mitzera korban. See here, it's zocha and the cave, it's mitzera mitzaras, right? So the Ram's asking himself a question. Why do you count Zav and Zava as 2? And mitzera mitzaras as 1, okay? Okay. So if you would have asked me, if you would have asked me this question, I would have said there are 2 parshas. There's a parsha of Zav, and there's a parsha of Zava, B'leis Nidasa. Okay? And as we know, the Rambam himself, whenever you have different parshas and Chalukah Dineim, So, Mamela, it's different mitzvahs. And that's how the Ram quotes Paskins in Minyan HaMitzvahs that Tumah Sheretz is one mitzvah, Tumah Zebel is another mitzvah. And that's basically his premise in Kuf Yud Zayin, that he says that since the four parshas of Eilchin, and with different dinim, even though it's the same name, it's four separate mitzvahs. So that's what I would have said. Okay? Shh. So that, the Ram doesn't say that. The Ram says an amazing thing. The Ram says, Ve'ein din za v'zova, kedin mitzera mitzaras. So he says, V'raya brua al zeh. This is the Raya brua. Parshas, it points in that direction. But it's not a Raya brua. Okay. What's the Raya brua? Comes the Ram and says, Al Omrom, Bekrisus, at the Matiki Ashmur, in the Mishnah Krisus said, Arbo'o Mechusrei Kapora. V'elu hein, Hazav, Vazova, Vayaledes, Vamitzera. Okay? So it counts Zav and Zova as two, and Mitzera as one. Hine Tire, Eich Yimnu, Zav v'Zova b'shnayim, umona Mitzera b'echod. Yiyeh ish o isha, ki zivus o ish, zula zivus o isha. At the Matiki Ashmur, our reflection of the fact that it's the matz of Mesuyim is different. Ki zivus o ish, zula zivus o isha. Okay. Here, that L'chayr is saying. So what does it mean? You understand yourself very clearly, okay, that a priori, the tafkid of the Matiki Ashmur, the Tanoim, writing the second parak of Krisus, is not to be megalad, not to tell us what are mitzvahs and minyan mitzvahs. Correct? Comes the Ram and says, no, let's open the Mishnah Krisus and, we'll be very smart and we'll know what the mitzvahs are. This starts from a general premise in the Rambam that the Matiki Ashmur, one of the obligations, or maybe the main obligation is to tell us the Meseira of Taryag Mitzvahs. This, if you recall, I always quote when this is a conclusive proof for Sa'ad. The Ram says in Pirush Mishnayos that the Pshat in the Gemara in Eivan and Dalin Beis, Kate said, say the Mishnah, Moshe taught Aaron, then Moshe taught Aaron and children, then he taught Aaron his children Canaan, then he taught Aaron's children called Yisrael. What was the syllabus? In the Gemara and Rishonim, we don't know what the syllabus does. The Ram says, in Akdam the Pirush Mishnayos, that the syllabus was the Taryag Mitzvahs. And I think the Ram learns that was the Meseira. The Matiki Ashmur, the Torah Shabbat, HaTorah, Sheyasu HaTorah, Pia Mitzvahs, he says in Akdam to Mishnah Torah, the Meseira is the Meseira of Taryag Mitzvahs. So since the tafkid is to tell us the mitzvahs and to explain the mitzvahs, if there are mitzvahs in Mechusei Kapora, and they formulate it as Zav v'Zova, and they formulate it as Mitzera, and not Mitzera Mitzaras, it's a Rayadoch that there are two mitzvahs of Zav v'Zova, and there's one mitzvah of Mitzera. That is his basic premise. The interesting thing is, and this will be a point of contention, okay? Is it the Eidos itself that tells us that it's two mitzvahs, the fact that they're called Zav v'Zova, or the Eidos is reflective, is indicative of the fact that the flow of the Zav and the Zova are choluk, and the Mechayiv, the Matzav Mesuyim is choluk. Because he adds something over here. He says, Hin eich yimnu zav v'zav b'shnayim, umona mitzair bi'echod, yeh ish o isha, ki zivus o ish, zulas zivus o isha. He's telling you that it's not a separate edus that the Matiki Ashmua said, Kiluk Zeres HaKosuv, that they're two separate mitzvahs, but they are a reflection that Cholok Ikatumasan, as the Gemara says. Okay? If, and I'm not, this is going to be, you're going to ask me, why did I answer this question? Okay. The Rambam does a similar thing, if you recall, at the end of Shiur Yud Aleph, where he quotes Gzeirus HaKosuv, a Sefer Zuta, which he calls, I think, a Mechilta, whatever, but it's a Zuta. V'hoyu lechem b'tzitzis, that Tchelis HaZovon is mitzvah achas. Mitzvah achas, okay? So they said it's mitzvah achas. And then he goes on to explain that the matorah of Tchelis and Lovon is the same, okay? And then he says the important thing over here in Yud Aleph is whether it's one inyan or two inyanim. And the fact that it's Eino Makim Zeh is irrelevant if it's one inyan, okay? So again, the Eidos is not the Eidos by itself, but the Eidos is indicative of a broader thing that the two inyanim, it's different, it's two separate inyanim. The same thing over here, that the zivus, that the zivus or ish is zua zivus or isha. Okay, so quoting Yud Aleph in this is beautiful. Okay. The problem is, just if you want to be just when it comes to Yud Gimel, Yud Beis and Yud Gimel, he has two mitzvahs, Tefillin Shalosh and Tefillin Shel Yad. Okay? And he says, V'haraya shetefillin Shalosh v'Shel Yad shtei mitzvahs omu b'Gemara Menachos al derech hatema al mi sheseva ki tefillin Shalosh v'Shel Yad ein manichen ois achas mehen b'li acheres ela im kein nimsa shteim. You need both of them. It's a very strange thing. He's quoting his Pirush Mishnayis, the Madua Kama. I'm not getting about Loshen shezeh nuschai man de lesle shtei mitzvahs chad de mitzvah lo le'ovid. One who doesn't have in front of him two mitzvahs shouldn't do one mitzvah. Klema mi she'efshel lo la'aseh shtei mitzvahs lo ya'aseh achas loy el ya'aseh es hamitzvah shebenimsa ulefikach yaniach eze mehen shebenimsa hine nisboy lecho shekol shalosh v'shel yad shtei mitzvahs. And that's enough. And then he has another statement afterwards, which indicated that it's one inyan Torah, which shtei mitzvahs elu ein hanoshim chayovos behen shaharei omar yis'ale betam chiyuvon. Both of them, leman tiyeh Torah Hashem b'ficha. It's both of them the same. The noshim ein chayovos b'salmud Torah. So again, it's very clear that Pashtus over here, the Eidos is not enough, and it's just indicative that it's different. Similarly, in Tchelis and Lavan, in Tefillin, it becomes very confusing. Okay. Then, V'akosiv shebo b'zeh hu omroi v'imtaro mizeivo u'v'yoyim hashmini tikach lo shtei seirim. So it's very interesting. He only quotes the pasuk after he's proven that there's a mitzvah over here. Then I'll tell you the tzivui. It's very interesting. Okay, now ready to move on. Mitzvah ayin vov. Mitzvah ayin vov hashesh v'shivim hi shetzivonu shetakriv kol yoledes korban. So here I saw, some that say kol yoledes is to be malbe mapelis, a spontaneous abortion, okay? A nafel. So I'm not impressed by this. And I'll tell you why. Because what is he going to say when it says kol zav and kol zova? Would it be malbe? I'm not sure at all. Because zav, whatever it is loiven, and it's ein mavushal, and it's also b'tim shvudachim, and if it's not, you have nothing. And kol zova is oidem, and it's shloi beis nidasa. Okay? And I don't know. I can imagine maybe kol metzera is zachor nekeva. I don't know that he has to have, because there's a different, the only difference between zav and zava is nihuge metzera. From Perua, for a poem, you could say ish for ish. Okay, but say that, but that should make it a different call. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not impressed by this call. This call. Okay, now the minyan akotzer lahakev yoledes korban ache shetetaya shnem loisi meitaro. The protei mitzvos b'chusik avoshetakav yoledes. So here he doesn't talk about chayli, okay? It is true, and I don't want to, I don't belabor the point. There's a whole sugya in Mefanim about the shloshim yomim of yoledes, that there's certain times you are, there is pikuach nefesh, certain times you do abundance, all the different dinim yoledes. Okay? So it could be the process of yoledes is a chayli, okay? Is a chayli in the sense that you're machal Shabbos for it, okay? But in my opinion, okay, maybe I'm not, that something which is in the natural order of things, that that a woman becomes sick in the sense that you might be Machal Shabbos because her life might be in danger, okay? But that doesn't make it a chayli of the ones he's talking about, because the Zav and Zoba and the Mitzera are not derech hateva. So he doesn't call this chayli, okay? But it's Torah. In fact, the interesting thing, that what you say by the bris, there were two kibbul nuschos. What we say is a nuschah based on Marzavitri. There's another nuschah of other Rishonim in other areas, which basically is a mishabeich for the Oledis, that she should have a full shleimer in the tinok. Okay, Beseder. It's a chayli, but it's not a chayli. It's a chayli tivi, which there's no discussion over here in the minyan mitzvahs. V'hu keves ben shonasai Shetakiv kol yoledis korban, v'hu korban v'keves ben shnosa le'oila, u'ben yoino esol lechatos, v'im hoyisa aniya, shetakiv shtei seirim o shnei b'nei yoina. Echod le'oila v'echod lechatos. Okay? So here you have this, it's like a oil of Yud, okay? Vihi gam came mechuseres kapora, ad shetaktiv loisam, kmo she'omim lois yemei Torah leveinu levas, tovi keves ben shnosei. Okay. Now here again, you will find Rav Sadi going, doing his thing, which he normally does. The Rambam, if you call in Sherish Zion, says the Korban Oil V'Yered is one mitzvah. It's just various permutations of the same mitzvah. The Ika mitzvah is that Chiyuv Korban Oil V'Yered. A Oshir discharges it in the way X, the Dallas discharges it in the way Y, and there, where he's talking about Sherish Zion, the Dallas in another way. Okay? However, and also in Yoledes, that the Ashira is one way, and the Aniyah is with Oifes. Okay? Now, Rav Sadi going, as he normally does, counts what the Ram calls fikr. Different permutations of the same call, different permutations of the same mitzvah, and he counts them separately. And this is what he does. He counts, he says in Perek Zion, which is in Amud 67, V'chein kasher tomu aboyim o ashmoinim, harehi mevi eser uben yoina lekorban, ka'oimo m'leis yimei tahara, v'richem oleha, im hoyis aniyah, sheteisif El hator ho'acher tor noisef. It's not a behemoth. B'mokain aseh ke'omer v'im lo sim seyodo. And he's moying this as two mitzvahs, even though they one pasha. The fact that according to Rav Sadia, it's a different mitzvah, not because it's a different pasha, but just because it's a different way that you can make the same mitzvah. There's one way of Shiur, another way of Aniyus. Okay? Now, let's move ahead. Mitzera is going to be very interesting in this reflect, and I'm not sure we're going to finish to the end of this, but okay, maybe we'll pick up the last part next week, we'll see. He shetzivonu a mitzvah ayin zayin. Asheva v'shivim. He shetzivonu sheyakriv mitzera korban kishenisrape mecholyo. Again, it's chayli. And as the Rambam does in the Mina Kotz, he talks about Tahara. Here he talks about chayli all over, and all the three of the four. And there he always says Tumen Tahara. Lakiv mitzera korban acher kashiditaye ubiyom hashmini v'chein in the Protei mitzvos mechusei kapor shiyakiv mitzera kashiditaye korban v'acher shiyakrivu korban eseim tigom taharos, and it goes on all four of them. Okay, so again, here it's chayli, and there's tum. We point out the chinuch and l'chayli that comes after the Gemara, that the tum and the chayli should be the same if you learn this chayli. Then he says, "V'hu sholish behemois oila b'chatos v'oshim v'loik shemen v'im hoya oni sheyakiv kevis l'oshim u'shtei seirim u'shnei b'nei yoina echol le'oila v'echol lechatos v'zeu ha'revi m'chusei kapor m'yisale v'mashmini yikach shnei kvosim tmimim b'kafsa achas." See, here again, you find Rav Sadi going, doing what would be expected, that there's Mitzera Oni and Mitzera Ashi and Mitzera Oni. There it happens to two separate pashas, But it's fikeh. It's Shiur Zion. It's two different permutations of the way that you can do the mitzvah, correct? So you count it as two, correct? So now, the most important thing, there's something major happening. I was always bothered, okay? You know, and it's basically my problem. Like I thought it was my problem. Okay. When you open up the Parshas Mitzera, Zeis Teres Mitzera, and there's a broad heading called Teres HaMitzera, and then it lists a seder of various activities that have to be done in order to bring him on the way to Tahara. First, it quoted Tziporim and the Eitz Eres. Then it talks about Tiglachas. And then it talks about the Korbanos of Mitzera. Okay? So I was always bothered. I said to myself, the same way with the Ram Paskins that the Teres Achatos, there's a mitzvah called the Mais Achatos, and it consists of many different performances over a time period. And this Teres Oilo, what's it's Samach Gimel, Samach Dalet, Samach Hey, and Samach Vov. This Teres Oilo, Teres Achatos, Teres Oshom, and Teres Zevach HaShlom. Okay? And there are many things you can count in the Rambam and Teres Achatos, Mriku Shtifa. Not part of that global. It's part of that whole Teres. So why don't you do the same by Mitzera and count all three of these as one mitzvah? And the Rambam says no. The Rambam has Asay Ayin Zayin, L'Hakiv HaMitzera, Kol V'Nachat Shitayah, Shneim V'Yom HaShmini, Kuf Yud, Liyoi Satayru Min HaMitzera, Bein Tzaras Odom, Bein Tzaras Bayis, B'Eitz Erez, V'Ezu Shnis Olas, U'Shtei Tziporim, U'Mayim Chayim, Shneim V'Zois Tia Teres HaMitzera. And then Kuf Yud Aleph, Liyos HaMitzera Megalech Kol Sa'ara, Shem B'Yom HaShvi'i Yigalech Es Kol Sa'ara. Okay? The amazing thing is, Rabbi Isai, Chav Tzadikain, even though he counts Mitzera Oni and Mitzera Oshir as two mitzvahs, Kedaka B'Kodesh, that he counts Fikah, all the different permutations as we find in Shiur Shvi, he says, you know something? All that is recorded in Teres HaMitzera is all one mitzvah. Here it is. In Perek Zayin, Omud 64. U'mitzvah Tshiyis, Hamenuga, Kashenita Mitumosai, Mazen Olov, Midam Sipo Shchuta, Shetovo Boy Eitz Erez. Okay? That's the Sipa Shchuta and the Hazor. Okay? Achakach Megalchin, B'chuyachach Megalchin Kol Sa'aro, Shbegufoy, V'yitbo, V'yisha Shiva Yomim, V'yachzal HaGiluach V'Atvila, V'yakim B'yom HaShmini, Shlosh Shaloshim, Min HaTzoyin, V'Shemen, V'yaseh B'hem K'fi She'yizboya B'hem, Zeis Tia Teras V'goyme, Ad Seif Kol HaParsha, Toch one mitzvah. An amazing thing, a switch. Ho Asiris, his chashev b'mi shehoya min hamenugoyim dal v'eim b'efsharusay shloish roshim doesn't have enough money. Shiovi loish echod v'imo shnei b'nei yoyna o shtei seir v'hishir es hashar achiyuv kimoy K'moi shehem omru, omroi, k'moi shehem. It's the old, everything is the same except the change from the korbanos at the end, the mechusei kapora. Omroi v'im dalu v'en yodam asekes ad seva piska. That's a separate mitzvah. So, Rav Sadia, I understand. The Rambam is amazing that he splits up in the Teres HaMitzvah into 3 mitzvahs. Okay? No, I can understand, explain, maybe it's 3 separate, each one does something in itself. Okay, we have to understand, but that's what he does, okay? Now, here is the final thing, and I think probably, if you want, this is like the grand finale. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to start with it next week, like in the thing. V'im yoimer oimer. Here is another person. He's bringing another person in to ask a question. V'im oimer yoimer lo molei simne korban mechusei kapora kulam mitzvah achas. Now it's a different question. Let's count all the mechusei kapora as one mitzvah. Okay? And here, he's not bringing in Sherish Yudalid, the min korban chatos, the min korban osham vade, the min korban osham tolui, the min korban oliviyere. He's bringing in the various types of tahara. Mitzvah achas, achas yesh lohem inyan echod yikapsom. There's one inyan, okay? Inyan echod yikapsom. Vuhu chisur kapora. They have a common denominator and count them all as one mitzvah. Even though, and this we'll have to talk about, even though they're separate chayli. There's a matzav mesuyim of zav and a matzav mesuyim of zava. Okay? But he's not talking about the korban. We'll see about this. But there is chayvis korban for the refuah, but he's talking about the tahara. V'yeh min mine tahara min atuma. V'hoyeroi shetoime HaMitzvah plonis hu he shetzivonu sheloi tishalin taharas ksas hatmeim vein azova v'zav azova v'yoledes u'mitzera ad she'akrivu korban. Kmo shetimne taris betara b'mikva mitzah achas nischayiv eze tome shiyeh v'eincha choshesh lemin atuma shlitma. Whether it's sheretz or nevela, it doesn't make a difference. Kein hoyuroi shetimne korban mechusei kapora mitzvah achas v'lo sachush lemin tumasai. Okay. Then he says an amazing thing. Hashem Yudeya, Shezeh Hoyroi, B'li Sofek. You're 100% right. He also has a separate mitzvah of Mechatos, okay? And a separate mitzvah of, he has the Mechatos and the Taris HaMitzera, the other Taris HaMitzera for the Tziporim. The 3 different mitzvah Tara. And here should be a 4th. Hoyroi, B'li Sofek. Im hoye korban echod me'elu abo mechusei kapora korban echod. If they were all one korban, it was the same. So the question which he asks in Ayin Hey, okay, which is based on Ayin Hey and Ayin Dalet, and he says that since it's 2 korbanos, it's 2 mitzvahs. Here he says that since even though it's 1 korban, it's 2 mitzvahs because it's a different matzav of tumah. Here he says no. If it would be 1 korban, it would be 1 mitzvah, but all of them would be 1 korban. He flips the whole thing around. V'lo yishtane k'mo tairis b'mikvah mayim shehu min me'ataros shechoyve al kol tomeh. Ulam mitzad is chalfus korban k'mo shatoreya is chayav u'mos kol korban b'yichud b'hecha ki adova shebo tishalem tairis echod Each one has a separate tire. Zulas adobo sheboy teshalim tires acher. V'zeh k'mo mei nida u'mei mikvah ba'abo mini mitzvah she'en shalosh mitzvahs. Here also is a separate mitzvah. L'ta af al pi she'ku she'en kul l'taris tameim k'mo she'evaya v'elu abo mechus kapo k'va hispalim mishpateim v'chulei. So this Mitzvah Shem we'll have to explain next week if you like. And it's amazing. Hatzloch Harabo.